Here we go. Hey,
See, it always
how's
happens.
everybody doing tonight? I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Your Purpose for Forever. We come on every night, Monday at 8.
Every night.
I'm sorry, every Monday
There
at
you
8
go.
p.m. 8 p.m. So we have a special guest tonight, and we appreciate you guys rocking. Make sure you share. Sharing is always caring. As always, we bust out the intro, and then we jump right into it. All right, so sit back, relax. This is going to be an awesome conversation, guys.
Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart. Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart. Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart.
Really big.
Yes. All right. So again, once again, we thank you guys for rocking with us and hanging. So we have our tonight's guests. We've known them long time. She's known them a little longer than I have, but
A lot longer. A lot.
But it ain't. It was still a long time, and we appreciate them for being on the show. They don't make many social media appearances, if any. So I'm definitely feeling blessed for them to be on the show. So coming up, Pastor Anthony A. Jackson and Assistant Pastor Lisa Jackson in the building. Yeah. Hey.
Listen, so like I promised, we're gonna make this really, really easy for you guys. But you know, Lisa, Pastor Lisa, you know, I talk about you all the time on my lives, and so now people get to see the ladies that I'm always talking about because I talk about you all the time. So now everybody gets to experience your wonderfulness.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever that.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with something real simple.
Yes.
Tell everyone how you met.
Well, we met in church at a Church of God in Christ meeting. But then that was just like on a sister brother, hey, how are you kind of thing. And but then my sister invited me to go to the mall on one Martin Luther King Monday because I was bored at home. And so I said, yeah, right, I'll go. And then I saw him again at the mall, and then we started talking there, and that was it. It's been like almost 32 years now.
Wow, 32. I didn't realize it's been that long.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, so you said it was it from there. So like you knew instantly?
No, I didn't. No. No, because there's, in your heart, I had this list in my heart, not something I could really write on paper, but when you look at the person and you experience the person, you could kind of feel like, okay, are the things that I'm looking for, there. So first for me, it was the spiritual part. Because a lot of people go to church, but for me, I had to see for myself if it's a real relationship. And that was very important to me. The kind of number one for me, before we can even go any further, I need to know that you really love him. I need to know that you really love the Lord, because then that answers a whole lot of stuff. If I start praying for you, then you're going to be like, okay, well, yes, Lord, then you start talking. But if you don't have a relationship with the Lord, and a loving relationship where you're saying, I'm surrendered to you and yes to your will, then we got a problem. So that was number one for me. And then everything else, came after. So the spiritual part was first, and then how nice are you? Are you stank, or we need to find all these things out before we start talking about we fell in love right away. That's just me.
All right. All right.
So, once I, experience, being around, seeing if you really who you say you are in private,
Right.
because people put on air
Right.
sometimes, and it's not always airs, but they try to put their best forward. But I need to see past the best a little bit so I can see what the real is.
Right.
So you got to kind of see, and just that comes with spending time with the person correctly.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She looking over the glass.
Correct time.
Right. Correct.
That means nice, clean time. Open.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying. So that I can know where you coming from. Can we talk? Okay, so so that kind of thing for me. Then the family background, your goals, educational goals, all of the things are in the back of my mind. Not that I could spell them out, like speak them out, but it was inside of me what I was looking for. And then once I saw everything was, pretty much what I was like, oh, all right, this is something.
All right.
There were others that had some things, but they didn't have others. And I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay.
It's that little uncomfortable thing, like I would be settling, just so I could have somebody. It was that time in your life, where you didn't have somebody and everybody else dating, and you over here by yourself with your mother. And so I'm like, okay, but I can't compromise, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be left with something I don't want. And that's working. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. It was not that right away thing. It's like you have to watch and see. I think that's the wise way to do it. That's for me.
All right, Pastor Jackson. So let's hear your take on it.
I think I mesmerized her, and then she just couldn't help herself. No, that's not it. That's not. I say, how people say you fall in love, and I know the late great Reverend Dr. Robert L. Norris. People need to grow. Yeah. He didn't like that fall in love. You falling forward headlong, uncontrollably. How you
uncontrollably, yes.
So, but that kind of perfectly gave a mental picture and spiritual inclination about how God helped me approach her. I can't claim this because he moved me from Florida to New York. Okay. And that's like a miracle, because we don't know. I know in college I was praying with my other college buddies. We had, I had some Christian buddies, and we would be praying prayers like, Lord, wherever our wife is, cover her, protect her, and this and that. We praying for our wife. We don't know who she is, but we're always trying to groom ourselves and be ready, in case we meet her or whatever. Always trying to be GQ and all the stuff, I don't even know if they use GQ anymore, but that's how we said it, So anyway, in 85, I came up from Florida, and my family was already a part of King's Temple, Church of God in Christ, and Pastor Rochford was the pastor, and he helped me to finish my Christian growth, receiving, the Holy Spirit, the regeneration of the Holy Spirit. He really broke it down. So once I got my life more in order with God and let go of this, always trying to find the one, God said, you know what? You need to let go and let me direct you. You just concentrate on me, concentrate on ministry and worshiping me correctly, and it's going to open up. Right. Because before that, I couldn't go past like 3 weeks seeing whatever girl. One time, one was almost, let me see, I never went past 3 months, I should say. We'll get to 2.5 months, 3 months come, boom, nothing. I said, and then people started saying, you know what, you got all your friends are getting married. And I said, yeah,
Right.
see, it's always a groomsman, never a groom. But when I got my life in order with God, then he started directing me better. Then, you know, my feet were directed way better than I could do on my own, say it like that. And lo and behold, God pieced it all together, migrated us, you know. I guess I had to do more migrating than her, I think. But when we met, it was a growing love, not a falling love, a growing love.
Right.
And because I did like a Jonah, you know, when Jonah got out of the belly of the whale, belly of the big great fish, he ran and made like a 3 days journey in a day. That's kind of how I was. I wasn't playing around. Then distraction would come. Who's you got a girlfriend? This, and I said, the ministry is my girlfriend. I was so like this.
Right.
And that's kind of the snapshot God let Lisa see when we were in the great meetings. You know, a lot of others were, you know, scoping and trying to get in people's face, whatever. And I was trying to get in God's face, and then people would call me deep and all this stuff. But I didn't care because I was trying to get that, you know, with God. And when I did it right, then he let me meet one of his choice daughters, you know.
Right.
So he wanted me to step correctly to her. Thank God. And you know, from there I think you were young in the church, Sister Sam.
Yes. I was like a baby.
Yeah, like a baby, like a young teenager or something. And you saw
Stole my Lisa away.
bowling alley, right?
Yeah, she was there
Yeah, you were there.
on our first date.
Yeah, that was the first.
Right. Because he had to take her on a date with all the teenagers.
Yeah,
I had to have my babies.
she invited my brother and I. My brother was with me. So my brothers or one brother? One brother. My youngest brother was there. So she said, y'all want to come bowling with us? Whatever, Wallace Memorial Church of God in Christ. So I was kind of, you know, I wasn't like trying to play it off, but, you know, you don't supposed to be all, oh, yes, you know, all crazy like that. I was trying to be chill, cool. Oh, yeah, well, I guess we'll consider that. We'll see what our schedule's like, you know. But then I was so like over bubbling, I was trying to press it down so it won't come out too much.
Right.
But soon as we left the mall to get in the car to go home and get ready, I said, we gotta go home, get ready, this and that. I can't believe it. We getting ready to do this and that, whatever. And I was getting all excited. And then we finally got there, and you know, all I could do was just testify about all the stuff happened to me when I was receiving the Holy Spirit and how I started learning how to dance in the Spirit. And I told these funny stories how I had these loafers on and I was dancing so wild because when you first get it, you're not too cool. I didn't know how to do shout in one little area and stuff like that. And so I want to get this thing. My feet are flapping and stuff. And one shoe went flying over that way and one on the other side of the church. And this was at another church that we visited, you know, over in Hempstead area. I'm gonna call his name Trollinger, Pastor Trollinger's church.
Yeah.
So he had these little usherette girls, and they would, "This your shoe, sir?" And the girl so little, it looked like my shoe looked like an ark or something, because I have, you know, a size 12 and a half at that time. And then another, I was waiting, the service going on, and they like, you know, them songs used to sing them. What's them song they used to like to sing over there? I could dance all night. And I felt the Holy Ghost about to come back again. You know, they had to get the human fence and everything and hold me down. But it took like an hour before my other shoe came back to me. So I was like, I feel weird. I got one shoe. Where's my other shoe? You know, but I ain't want to break the Holy Spirit feeling. And it was clapping and singing. And then the other usher girl brought my shoe from the other side of the room. This your shoe, sir? I told Lisa that story. She was just laughing in the bowling alley. And the
I'm
young
still
people
laughing.
saw her doing. I think Sister Sam probably saw her. Lisa's having a good time over there, just grinning and laughing. And
Yeah, and all I can remember thinking was, who is this? Like,
you was thinking, who is this guy?
yes.
Oh my
Because,
God.
it was always, she always spent time with us and took us out. And, we were, back then, it was like, we was like the light of her life.
Yeah.
And so then,
And
now
I
she
saw
can
it too. I saw it. She
sitting
really
and
worked.
laughing with somebody else.
Yeah. You almost felt like he's stealing our, big sis,
Yes,
our auntie,
stealing
whatever. Like,
our Lisa away.
yeah, our Lisa, our Miss Lisa. She was Miss Lisa there.
Oh my God.
Yes, she was Miss Lisa
But
back
even
then.
still, I didn't know that it wasn't crossing my mind.
Yeah, me either. I
What
didn't
God
like
was
to-
doing. I was just laughing because he was hilarious.
And I felt so free to be myself.
Yeah,
She did too.
I did not even. It didn't click until like after
Yeah.
we left, and I'm like, hey, he just got my telephone number.
Yeah, and that's what I told my brother. I said, hold up, I got her phone number. Oh, snap. And I didn't have to do all of that, throwing lines at somebody and all of that. It's crazy.
Right.
It was just clean, good, pure, soul to soul,
But that's the story.
transparency. And I felt so at peace and comfortable. And because God just did it. He just, boom, put us like that. And before long, we just started talking, and she go to my church every so often, I go to hers. Y'all would see me coming there. I was Deacon Jackson, visiting in,
And all I can think is he is not going away. He's not.
visiting back and forth,
Sam.
And then eventually I brought some drums in the church, and I helped out. Started helping in the ministry a lot. Eventually, God sent me on over there. So, and then I wasn't gonna go away.
Right. So about how long did you guys date before you got married?
Let me see. What was
It was
88?
almost 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Oh, just under 3.
Yeah. And went by like boom. I was like, wow, it's been 3 years. I can't even feel that,
I really wasn't even thinking about like the marriage part.
Yeah.
And then all was like, he really surprised me when he proposed. And I'm like, what?
I heard a sermon from R.W. Shambach. If y'all remember him at all? He said when he met his wife, he asked her straight up before they even got deep to that level, would you even consider marrying a person like me? So I kind of threw some of that at her a little. I said, that's true. If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not,
I didn't catch it.
And then,
You're like, yeah, all right. Yeah,
but
I just knew he was somebody I can spend time with. I didn't mind spending time with him, and on all the levels.
Mhm.
There's some people I was like, I couldn't be my complete self with them because it's like I had to, take this mother role, or I had to take the lead you to the Lord role. And I mean, it's so many, and I'm like, especially if I'm thinking marriage, I need him to be the head. I need him to lead the home in the spiritual sense. So, everybody's different, but that was me. And that's what I needed. And God knew without me saying, God, I need somebody to be ready to lead. I didn't ask him that, but he already knew what I needed.
Mm-hmm. We had to solidify, there were no others, because I had asked her that question. I said, I hope you understand that I'm not talking to anybody at this level but you. And then I'm not talking to anybody else. She said, me either. Then the sparks just went. I would start walking on cloud 9 when she reciprocated that same thought to me. It happened in 96 Washburn. one night in Freeport,
Oh,
and one
Lord.
starry night, as I always say. My kids laugh at me when
They
I say
laugh
it.
at that. Yeah.
And then
But I will say she was definitely different with you. Like, you know, there have been people around, you know, and like she would, you know, she was always pleasant, you know, to everybody and whatever. But like with you, she was different. Like I was like a giddy schoolgirl. Every time you look, she's just, you know, all like extra bubbly. I was like,
it was this settling, you know, a settling like I see all of I'm seeing, you know, because it take time to see stuff. Right. But I'm seeing things you know, what settles in my heart. Not
right.
ticking off a list, but in my heart was being settled, you know, with God, because I always was praying, Lord, you know what I want. I didn't, you know, I did make a list, but to him, and I'm saying, Lord, you know, I want this. It was mostly, Lord, I don't want that, and I don't want that, and I don't want that. But God knew the things that I needed, and He knows that how sincere I was about Him. That was very important, because my relationship with God, it was wrapped. I'm like, I can't have nothing jacking that up. That's just not gonna work. So God knew, and it was settling. That's what you're saying, that I felt more settled and happy that, okay, finally, you know, I don't have to play these roles, and I don't, you know, so I wasn't comfortable with a lot of, you know, others because of that.
Y'all remember this woman that was in the church? That's Neil's mother, right? Sister Robinson. She told me in passing one night in a service, she said, "You came just in time." I said, I don't know what that means. But you don't know, these quiet little mothers be in the church, they be watching. But I guess they saw how God was moving, you know, in her life and in my life, and He just meshed it all like so smooth, you know. And I can't even ever take any, you know, glory in that at all, you know. So she knew it was God. I knew it was God. I looked around. I'm all comfortable. I feel like I got delivered, you know, first, and then completed, you know. I don't call her better half, because God made her a whole person, right? And me a whole person. Right. So 2 wholes. I always say 1 + 1 = 1. The real marriage math of God. And we felt that happen. She kept her Miss Lisa on her car, you know. I'm never going to try to take that away from her. I don't want to. My best hobby is helping her to be the best her. That's just how God's made my heart that way since a little boy. You know, I see what God give me, and I'm going to make good of it, you know. Right. So
what were some of the, so you seen the foundational stuff that he had, so you're able to get comfortable. So you felt like, I can get comfortable without, and I'm not settling on compromising in this relationship. You know, like I feel like he has at least, you know, the basics that I'm looking for with God in him and his character and all that, you know, so I'm not taken over by the glitz, the glamour, the way he looks, the way he talks and all, making me laugh, you know, because that's just the thing that suck you in the outward stuff. You know, you got to have that foundation of knowing. And so you were like, you was tough on that. Like, you know, I need to know who you are before I let you in, kind of thing. So past that, you know, 3 years, we get married. What are some of the things that you discovered in your journey of being married that you didn't see in the beginning?
Right.
And that's both of you guys.
Like you know, there are, when you there's some people who, like I said before, that you try to put forth your best or whatever, but then there are things that when you're growing as a person, that things that you don't even know about yourself. Now that I'm 54 and we've been married almost 30 years. Life changes, and the kids are getting older, leaving the house, and all kind of things. Anyway, but as you get older, sometimes it'll look like, oh, he changed, or he changed up on me. And it's not necessarily that the person changed up on you. It's just that they are growing into who they are in an older age. Who you were at 15, 16, who you were at 21, who you were at 30 is not the same person you are at 50 something years old. There's different things. You don't even know how you're going to feel if your parent dies. You don't know how it's going to affect you. You know what I'm saying? So some things, and I think some people are like, oh, they changed. I'm out of here. And it's not that. Sometimes you got to sit back and say, okay, wait a minute now, hold on. Okay, he's going through something, or she's going through something. You have to, and that's where prayer comes in, because I'm like, okay, if I see some change or something that's different than when he was younger, then I stop. I'm quiet and I'm praying. I have a recliner that I frequent every morning, and I lay my family before the Lord, and I kid you not, I lay my husband before the Lord. I lay each one of my kids separately. Not my kids, Lord, no, but Sienna and Andre get a separate prayer. So each one of them before the Lord, because even them, as they are growing, they're changing, and so you need the Lord to step in there. In those areas, in those times in their life, so I with him working, and I see, like, I saw my husband, he's different when he's working and when he's not working. When he's off for the summer, he's very relaxed, very laid back, and it's easier to talk to him because he's relaxed. But when he's going, like he just got home not too long ago. He's going, and then I come talking. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And so, and at first you'd be like, But over the years, I said, you know what? He acts different when he's off from work, but it took me a while to understand that. It took me a while to understand, don't take his first answer when he's taught. Like, if I ask him something, don't take the first answer he gives, because sometimes he's just saying his first initial thought. He haven't really thought it through. So I had to learn things, things that wasn't important, I guess, when we first met, because we didn't have all that to deal with. But as life goes on, this is why you can't just throw somebody away. You can't just throw people away. You have to see, what they're going through, and then kind of put yourself in that place, because you changed too. I changed too. I'm not exactly the same person I was. I didn't lose my father before. Now he's gone. So there's so many things that you have to think about when you're dealing with a person. They're a human being. They're not a piece of meat. They're not a piece of furniture. We
had to learn how to communicate with each other.
Learning.
Still learning. The main milestone was during courtship. We didn't talk for 3 days. That was like real hard. I was mad at her. She was mad at me. I had my pride. I guess she had hers. So I ain't calling. I'm not calling. She's gonna have to call me. Then I'll be coming home from work and school, college at night, and looking at the phone. I said, I ain't calling. I was gonna lay the law down. We were just learning this communication glitch that we had. Because her family background, have a different atmosphere than mine. Right. Mine was led by my extroverted father. And we had elephants in the room. They did too. But I think our elephants was different. We didn't leave them in the room too long.
Yeah.
Have these explosive volcano eruption things that happen in the Jackson home and get in your face and say stuff.
Right.
But hers a little more laid back, and they would just herd the elephant till the cows come home, I guess.
So but that was a big thing in our relationship, because it took me a while to understand. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, is he being stank? You know, hold on a second. If you being stank, because I ain't see this stankness before. But we weren't talking like about life that kind of way, you know, with families, different changes and problems. So everything was all hunky dory. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, we going to the musical. Oh, you know, going to dinner. Everything's so nice and peachy.
Right.
But then once you get in there and you start really living life, this is a person that came from a totally different background than you. Like it was totally, and it does mean a lot, because in, like he was saying, in there, how they are very more straight out and very forward with what, you know, no, let's just kind of how you are, Sam, you know, just say it. Let's just get it out. And my family, we were more like, oh, you know, let's hold on. Let's be careful. You know, you don't want to hurt nobody. Let's hold on. And
We'll get back.
they're trying to hurt somebody, but it's like they want to just get the truth out and let's just put it on a table. So when you coming from two different, you know, it could be tough. And it's just that I had to learn him, and he had to learn, you know, how I am. And it took us a while, but we both have kind of learned that now. But it's still not easy. It's still not easy because he's still who he is. So we still have to, you know, toggle it and give and take, and kind of like step back and say, okay, don't say that yet. Or, you know, that kind of thing. Like, and he does that. He said, okay, I ain't say, and I see him doing it. Sometimes I feel bad because I know he holding but then eventually he'll, you know, I have to change myself so that I can be a tougher skin. And that's really what it is. I have to be a tougher skin. And it's not just with him. That's just who I am. You know, I have to have a tougher skin at work. I have to have a tougher skin with individuals that I meet here and there, because people can say some really, you know, direct things. And I'm like, what? Did they just get nasty at me? And sometimes I don't touch it until hours later. I'm like, wait a minute, they were being mean. Yeah, so that was a big thing in our relationship. I kind of think that's probably the biggest challenge that we had, coming from, you know, those two different family backgrounds. Yeah.
Right. And you know, you just said it, like, and that's us, kind of like night and day. You know, I feel like let's just deal with it. Let's deal with it and move on. But you know, he want to hold it, put it in the corner, you know, dress it up, right? Pat it, feed it. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, it's too much. Let's just say it, like this. You know, because we can deal with it and move on. But the more you coddle it and carry it around, it, you know, it just.
Let's revisit that on Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah, it's
you
like
know,
affecting you.
Right. It affects me. Right. Like it affects me. Like him just holding on to stuff. Yeah. And it's like he wearing it. I can see it everywhere, but you won't say nothing.
Yeah, it won't say anything. You all can see it, you know.
Everything's fine. But it's funny how Pastor Jackson, I was thinking about Miss Lisa, Pastor Lisa, said about him speaking, you know, the first things that come out your mouth when a situation, like when he's upset or like it's a bad day or something, you ask him something, you gotta, you know that first answer isn't, you know, the answer we're gonna roll with, because it'll be World War III if I grab onto that answer. I found in myself. I found in myself that when she says something, and because I could be that one too, I pause before I even speak. Like sometimes she'll send me a text and I'm like texting the answer back, I'm like, no, I can't. I gotta hit delete because like that's not it. That's not the answer I gotta give. I need to let this process a little bit so that I can give an answer that one I can be accountable for when she repeats it back to me.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm like, oh,
because I'm gonna repeat it. Please know that I'm going to repeat it. Right, because that's exactly where I'm going. But you said, you're like, that's not what, oh, that's what you said.
Right.
Maybe that was what you did, but that's what you said.
Right.
So,
So
communication is, you know, like over time you change and you evolve. And if you don't realize, you know, that, look, you know, things have changed. So the way we deal with each other kind of got to change too.
Right.
We learned that the hard way. Definitely the hard way. So, Pastor Jackson, did you always know you were going to be a pastor?
No, not really, because when I was younger, I was running from it a lot. I saw my father, you know, I was like, I don't want to go through all of that. I don't want to be no preacher, this and that. And because you could see the ups and downs of the personality, how that interplays in the ministry and all that, and family dysfunctions and stuff, whatever, caused me to say, you know what, no, I don't want to do it. So the Lord is funny though. You run as much as you want, like you run, but you can't hide kind of thing. Right. And no matter where I went or what I tried to do or tried to act like I wasn't, people in a club would be like, you look like you ready to go to Sunday school. I was like, what? You don't even know me. You don't even know me. You know, what is it like on me? Gosh, you know? So as a matter of time, I just knew I couldn't run from it. And I just sat down and just started praying to God and being honest. And just gave in to the calling that he had on my life since young. My father told me, why parents don't tell you stories younger, you know. I'm like a young adult. He's like, one of your grand aunts said when you were in utero, that's a preacher going to be born. I was like, you never told me that. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't supposed to know yet. I don't know. It seems like I would have made some other decisions in my life. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. That's I'm like,
So Lisa, did you see that on him?
No, I didn't see it. I promise you, I didn't see it, and I didn't want to see it because I didn't want to be pastor's wife, pastor's nothing. Not interested. I just want to sing my little song and live my life for the Lord. That's all I want to do. You know, sing a little something here and there and live right. That's all I want to do. That, you know, because for me, it's the responsibility of other souls. And I know that I live right. It's not that. It's just that I don't know. I just didn't want to have to be responsible because it's difficult. Everybody doesn't see it the way you see it. There's everybody, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of tough, you know. So I still ask the Lord to help me with it. Wow. Nope. Didn't see it, didn't want to see it.
Listen, I already knew that was your answer before I asked. I knew the answer to that one, but
yeah.
Before I even asked. Okay, so since you brought it up, so you said you just wanted to sing your little song and live your life for the Lord. So we're gonna take a break here. And we're going to play your song.
Oh,
boy.
And then when we come back, you can tell everybody what inspired you to do this song and how they can get it and all of that. So we're going to play your song.
Okay.
if I face the Pharaoh's throne. It doesn't matter if I have to stand alone. All that matters is that I am. He sent me. It doesn't matter if I face the lion's strength. It doesn't matter if I face Goliath's strength. Just remember that I am is with me. I am. Oh, yes, I am. He is. He's with me. My Lord, my King, my life. You're my everything, God. I am. He is. It doesn't matter what the people have to say. It doesn't matter who you were on yesterday. All that matters is that I am. He sent me. It doesn't matter how bad the situation's been. It doesn't matter what the devil tries to sin. Just remember that I am is with me.
All right.
Okay, so as he said, that is your song. That's not in its entirety.
Right.
So tell everybody what inspired you to do that song.
It's about not my feeling in myself that I wasn't adequate to sing and to measure up to what's out there. And Lisa write a song, okay, that's unheard of. But the Lord said to me, but I gave it to you. So what do you mean you're not gonna do it? So he said, I gave it to you, so you need to do it because I gave it to you. I gave you the gift. You use it. It's not about what anybody else is doing. And he said, if I'm with you, then I don't what's the problem? So that's really where the song came from. That God is with me, whatever anybody is, you have apprehensions about. If God tells you to do it, you do it. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. That's why the song keeps saying it doesn't matter. Because every excuse I came up with, God said, no, that don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. So.
And what's the title of the song, and how would people find it?
Oh, it's I Am. That's the name of the song, I Am, and it's on Amazon. It's on Apple Music, all of those, Spotify, all of those different areas they can get it under Lisa Norris Jackson.
Okay.
All right. Then, so how many years have you been singing?
Well, my mom says since I was like 4 or 5. So I'm 54, so that's a long time. That's like almost 50 years.
Okay, he's trying to put in the link
Yes,
everywhere your song is, so that's why I'm trying to pause.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys talk about your children.
My children, well, they're grown now. I spent a lot of time with my children, and they mean the world to me. To me, they are my number one ministry. After I dealt with you guys as the youth department, then my kids came, and the same love that I have for you guys, I have for my kids. And every day I would get started out, they were in my arms like this, and I would get in that same recliner and pray with them. And then they got so big, they were sitting on either arm, and I'm trying to hold them up. Then as they got to teens, they had to go sit on their own chair. We were having prayer every morning. And I'm just trying to just keep them covered, because we just live in such a bad day, and some of the things that they're dealing with, we didn't deal with or at the level that they have to deal with it. And so Sienna is now in what you call UPenn, doing her doctorate. And Andre is he's 21, she's 23.
Okay.
Andre is at what's the name of the school?
Five
Towns, and he's a film major.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's enjoying it too. He's a smart kid, you know. He's one of the kids that you don't need to know how smart I am, but I got it.
That's him.
But he's
so
sweet.
what was that like? Like, okay, Sienna was first.
Right.
So having Sienna, like, you know,
Oh
like
my
you said,
God.
you always had us, and now here you go with your own. What was that like for you?
Actually, it's the same love. I feel like it's the same love, but I had them from, you know, birth. I had you guys when y'all were 10, starting at 10 and on up to, you know, but the love, I just have such a love for kids and teens. I don't know why. It's just, I just want to grab them up and protect them. You know, I just want to protect all the kids. And that's why I would treat you guys like that, because I didn't want nothing to happen to you. If you came to Wallace Memorial, you was getting protected. I don't care. That's my baby. They all mine. I don't care. And I wasn't that much older than you guys. But I just had to protect you, and I'm that way probably times 10 with my kids, you know. But I had to learn to, you know, back it up a little bit as they got older. You know, I had to just, you know, and what I did was we taught them about praying, you know, having a relationship with God, so that they will on their own know, okay, I need to pray, you know. And I try to show them where God is moving. Oh, did you see that? God did that. And then there's no other way God did it. And so from that, they learn that God does move when you pray. And that's very important to me, to show them that God does hear you and he'll answer.
So Pastor Jackson, so like she said, Sienna is gone. She done left the house. Your oldest, your daughter.
1 month.
So, right. So she been gone for a whole 30 days. Pastor Jackson, your daughter, your baby, firstborn. What's that been like for you?
First of all, she ain't leave the house.
Let's make it clear.
I think he's worse than me. I thought it was gonna be he's worse than me.
No, but I know what you mean. Technically, yeah, she's not here every day, but she still have her room. She said, I'm not moving all of my stuff. So I kept that in the back of my head. I didn't comment on that. So yeah, she not totally gone. And they were crying like, this is the last time we gonna sing this. I said, there's no last time we gonna sing the song together. Don't say stuff like that, you know. And then
you gotta hold on to this.
I said, you know.
No, she not. Yeah, I get it.
She's still our baby daughter, and she call herself the baby, little intimate family nickname. She called herself that, you know. But at the other end, I trained her to have a self. When they were little, I used to say that you can't be running around trying to be like everybody. You got to have a self.
Right.
I still remember that. And I made them both learn how to be independent. Right. So it's almost like it's coming full circle. It's like I have to accept it. I train them how to be independent. So
taking that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if any inkling of impropriety of, you know, dishonoring her adulthood, you know, she will let you know. And we had some misfirings here and there. I was like, that's not what Dad was doing, you know. I might have came to you in some weird, okey, jokey kind of thing and said something a little off, but that's not what I was doing. I will never disrespect you. I train you to walk in a certain way that demands respect. Right. And I'll be the last one on earth to do that, you know. Wow. So she got the point, and we, you know, she hugged and we got, you know. I always go back. I'm not too proud, like that worldly song say, too proud to beg, sweet darling. I've apologized to my kids when they were younger, come too hard at first, and then I said, I'm sorry. I should have asked first, this and that. You forgive, Daddy, sorry. And then they would say, that's okay. And then they hug you. Something about how kids say that and just hug you anyway.
Right.
You know. So they know. They still have certain, I guess they look at us kind of different in certain ways. We're approachable. But Lisa, I don't know if I should say you more approachable. I don't know if that's not the right thing to say. But
we just communicate differently. That's
yeah.
all.
I'm like the sort of letter of the law, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because ever since little, I say stuff one time, and then as it, Lisa be like saying it 3 times, and then she noticed when I say it one time, they move and do. She said, "Wow, what in the world? Why you move? It's father, this and that, you know." It's just we different. I don't know. I don't know if they know how to play her or something. Because I found out Andre was in the playpen. He used to sleep in the little playpen, and he would get up whining in the middle of the night.
No, screaming.
Yeah,
in
screaming.
the middle of the night.
And how did this happen?
So
I don't want to miss that
every
story.
night, Andre screamed. Every 2 or 3 hours, I was up. And I'm like, why this boy screaming? We just fed him.
Exactly.
And he would jump up. Now he's about 9-10 months now. And he's still doing it.
Wow.
So my routine, he starts screaming, I get up. So this time my husband said, no, I'm going. And so Andre expected to see me.
I did it on stealth mode. I didn't let him hear me. I just stood there behind him. Then when he kept going from one corner of the playpen to the next, the square, he came and he saw me.
Right.
Then he dropped down and laid down. I ain't say a word.
Right.
Like what? Because I'm thinking, baby, he don't know what's going on. And from that, I knew he knew. I was like, he knew all this time. He was playing me.
I said, no, he playing you. Playing, telling you.
Oh my goodness.
I guess on my child psychology and child development stuff kicked in or something or whatever. I just knew.
So now in 2020, you have a son, 21-year-old Black male son.
Yeah.
Yes,
What are some of those conversations like now?
Definitely.
Yes.
Well, I tell you that for me, and I hate to say it, but even through all of my prayers and praying and covering them, I still want him, like, you know, and like, and he's like, oh, I want to go and drive and do this stuff. And I said, listen, it's almost always a lecture that I'm a warning lecture, a watchful lecture. You know, you got to be careful. And I'm very nervous sometimes. Like when he's out, if he's working, you know, and I know he's got to drive the parkway. I don't want nobody to pull him over. And every time he get pulled over, I'm like having a heart attack. And one time he just put me on the speakerphone so that I can hear and, you know, if I, you know, whatever. But it's very uncomfortable.
Right.
Very uncomfortable.
Right.
Pastor Jackson.
We have to give them the reminders.
Right.
It's almost since like they were little, they're not sheltered because we tell them the truth about everything. But being a kid in a prayerful home, you know, you have that cushion of safety and protection.
Right.
You know, it's like an anointed protection thing. People don't maybe not realize that realm does a lot to the natural realm. And sometimes kids are like, I can swim, you know. I say, you cannot swim. I remember we were in the pool, they little, Sienna's like, I can swim. I say, you got swimmies on, you can't swim. I said, oh, I'm gonna take the swimmies off. I ain't gonna let her drown. See, she going back. I said, I told you can't swim, you know. So it's almost like that. When they're adults, you gotta kind of move in a way. Let off, respect them, teach them, respect, let off, and teach, and let them know the real deal out there. there's cops, there's this, there's that, there's dangers. And they know the difference in college and in high school. Some of their peers going through so much hellish developments, but they didn't have to go through a lot of this, any of the level they saw because of the lifestyle and prayer, covered by prayer. And they got the instillment of having chores and being responsible. Right. So they be like the mama and daddy in their peer group almost, not falling and failing like a lot of them are doing. And they have more victory in their life, than the average peer. So I could see that they are listening, and then they come back and affirm, give us validation as a parent. Y'all are right. Oh, guess what so and so going through, and then they were like, I wish I hadn't done this. Wish I hadn't. I said, I told you, y'all gonna see a lot of this. All this boasting and bragging, they gonna come and say they wish they hadn't.
Right.
Whatever. And then they see it.
Right.
Confirmed so much. But it's a hard thing because you have to let up, let them see it, so you don't over smother them. But that feels kind of dangerous. It's like they're gonna fly. The birds are gonna fly. I hope they fly. In that older range now, it's like looking at them. Oh, they flying. All right, you saw that. We have private conversation. Oh, you saw that? Mm-hmm. Fist bump under the table. Yeah.
But I noticed that he's very very intelligent young man.
Yeah.
And he he made moves with his license, his registration. He put it in a place where you don't have to be going over here, digging in here, and so that what I'm saying, so that it's right here, right there, and I can hand it to him. He told me that he did that because he's thinking he has concerns as well, So, but I always try to, and when you can pray, prayer is number one, and is the first thing. But God also gives you wisdom. You don't say, "Oh yeah, I pray," and then act a fool. Right. You have to use wisdom. You have to use wisdom as well as praying.
And they always looking at us. They smother us with looking at us. Sometimes I want to just say, "Stop looking at me," But the Lord say, "No, they looking at you. You the parent. You're not just talking with your words. You're talking with your life."
Right. That's true.
So it make me stay right. I'm like, I better not do jack, stupid, nothing. And my son always looking. Look at everything. Look at what I'm eating. Look at everything. I'm like, but could you not look at me?
Yeah, that's why you have to be careful what you do,
what you're doing, what you're saying, and they look at everything.
Even when they're younger,
is there a disparity? They look at everything.
And sometimes they feel it. It's not something that's said, or they just feel and see things, without telling you that they see it.
So you guys are in New York, and everything that's happened since March with the pandemic and the quarantine and whatever, what have been some of the challenges with being in New York? And just because you've been working the whole time, right? Lisa, you worked the whole time, and working. What have been some of you guys' challenges?
Well, my job, they immediately sent us home with all of our, laptops and whatnot. So I work from home just like I'm at work. No difference, except I work more hours. But actually, and I think my problem is that I work more hours, and because I'm the kind of worker that I want to see it done. So I'm trying to see how did I go back and forth traveling an hour and a half to 2 hours every day and working a lot less hours, and now I'm here and I'm working more hours, and I'm trying to understand why is that. I still haven't come to the conclusion as to how that happened, but I can't seem to finish my work. I don't know if it's more work or I don't know what it is, but and I have to, because physically it's starting to affect my body. It's I can't, like, I'll get up to sing. I noticed it when I got up to sing. And I couldn't get through the first song, and I'm like breathing. I'm like, what is going on? I can't hardly breathe. Like, my legs started having some issues, so, and it's because I'm not getting up. I'm not exercising because I do accounting. So I just sit there for, 10 to 12, maybe sometimes 14 hours a day. And just trying to get it done. And I feel like I can never finish. So that is a challenge, and I'm really praying about it. I'm really asking God and I ask God, just open my understanding so maybe I could move faster or something. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. That I still have on the altar. Actually, I'm serious. I do have it before the Lord because I want to understand what's going on here.
And Pastor Jackson, what have been some of your challenges? Because you're a teacher. And so in New York, you guys are back in school.
Yes.
In the building. What's been some of your challenges?
We've been initially closed March 13th. So that was Friday the 13th. It was the weird Friday the 13th. And I'm not superstitious, but that same day we closed, and my computer desk, it was old anyway, but the legs gave out and the computer crashed on the floor. I was like, whoa, this is Friday the 13th. Everything is happening.
Wow.
And then I make a big thing of a jokey thing with the students just to spook them, with all that. But we were scrambling, trying to make packets of work because it's like the rug was snatched from under our feet and we had to go virtual. And we had, barely any training. It was like we had to get trained on the job training and do it. I mean, we had some virtual knowledge, but we got way more as the children were given that big packet of work, which lasted about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And we kept calling and making sure they were doing it. And they emailed us back and forth. We were doing some long distance trainings, downloading videos, and had to do, Google Classroom and all these things. So we got through it up to June, end of June.
Okay.
So they prepared us that, when the conference for the new year came, we would have more training.
Right.
So we're still being trained up to this moment. Some are virtual all the way. Some are hybrid, both, and then some are just the kids come in. I'm in the situation where the kids come in, but there's less kids. Usually I have about 25 or so, and now I have about 16 to 18 kids coming in, and they have to have their masks. I have to have my mask. A lot of times I have my gloves on too. And Lisa be like, don't be bringing home that COVID up in here.
We did it at school.
Leave it over there.
We made a thing in our house, in the foyer. I set up a table, a cleansing table.
Right.
Garbage can and everything. Clean your shoes, and I got paper towels, disinfectants, and sprays and stuff right there at the door. And we can't go deeper into the house until we do all that. And it's just a lot of extra. COVID made everything so much extra. So we do our job, and that's hard enough with behavioral things and all that with the kids. And then COVID now, it's like, wow. It was hard having people online because they have so many excuses and don't want to turn the work in, don't upload when they need to, don't download when they're supposed to. And how can your Wi-Fi be not working for a month and a half, on and off, stop? I'm sure y'all playing games and doing Hulu and Netflix and everything, binging and stuff, supposed to be doing your homework.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like your godson.
Seeing it all. Man, that's a challenge right there. So I try to, I used to drive home, it'd take a certain amount of time and I could emotionally cleanse myself before I get home, And when you're at home working, it's like They think you always working.
Right.
Texting me, and some parents have to be text. So I don't know why I do that, but I do it because I want to reach them, whatever.
Right.
You don't text me at 10:30 p.m. to my, what's the assignment again? I was like, I did not see that. I was and yeah, like Lisa said, they think you are, totally, on call now.
Right.
And there was a time where the stores were opening late and closing early, and I had to get supplies for us.
Right.
So there was a time when I had to do what I had to do. Right. So, getting in the line and get supplies because we were low and ran out of stuff.
Right.
So I had to work and do that, put it that way.
Right.
And so many others had to do that.
Right.
I said, well, I'm online, so I'll be online while I'm on the line. So I got to get my supplies. Hello, gotta eat.
Right.
So I stand out there with my mask and gloves and stuff on. It was chilly and cold out there. Could see my breath. And it's like it's a quarter of a mile long. People standing in the line, waiting to get in. And I got in there though. I said, I'm gonna do this for my family. I'm gonna get in there. Stuff I had to do,
Right.
And just to keep yourself emotionally balanced so that you have enough left for your family.
Right.
Yes.
I guess when I first come home, Lisa kind of scoped me, kind of leave me alone. That's how we kind of make it. She know when to leave me alone. I don't know when to leave her alone. I see her over there hemming and hawing. I don't see nothing right away. And I catch a moment, and when she not hemming and hawing too much, and I sneak a kiss, whatever. And then you gotta find the moments. Gotta know how to leave each other alone. I started married. One was 90-something years old, the other one almost 100. And I listened to their testimony. She said, I give him his space, and they do vice versa.
Right.
So we know we've learned how to do that.
We still, because you are individual.
Yeah, individual.
Of course.
She liked when I can go, some action movie, maybe she don't like it. It's too scary, all that monsters and stuff. She let me go see it, Bye. And then she get to have her me time, whatever.
I look at Matlock.
I mean,
yeah.
And whatever her hobby is, I will buy her DVDs.
He buys my Matlock and Columbo.
Good times.
Good times. And she buy mine stuff. I like. I like Columbo more, so she bought me Columbo. And
Quincy.
Yeah, Quincy. She bought me Quincy because I like him. She's so adamant and passionate, And I kind of tie into that. So she bought me that. And she bought me I don't know if it's what's the word you use? Legitimate. It is still legitimate, but I don't know. Some companies out there, I don't know, they almost half bootleggish, but you can get shows. She got some shows that I like that you can't get on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. But she got me some shows that I like,
That's awesome.
Okay. It's all these old shows. So we don't really look at TV.
Right.
So DVDs, you pop them in, no commercials. Thank the Lord. Just look at this. Oh my God. Because we don't have time for it. We're doing so much trying to balance.
Yeah.
I'm not bivocational. I'm polyvocational. I call myself. Author now, pastor, husband, father, teacher.
Yes.
Friend.
Right.
Try to be fun.
We forgot. We played Lisa's song. Oh, I think the kids have the book. We have to. When's book number 2 coming out?
Book number 2.
Because Alexis
I'm
is
in
waiting.
the middle. I'm in the middle. Let me see. I'm like 70% done.
Okay.
So now with school open and all, I gotta rebalance myself.
Right.
And find time. God gave me the assignment. It's in me. I just gotta sit calm and he work it on out. Once I sit down, he'd be like, do this, say this, do that. And he make me reread stuff Now add this because that was really a rough draft. I said, Lord, move them. It's the Lord's project. He just chose me to do it. So I stay humble. That was a journey too. The Lord's like, why you want to get a book out? I was honest. I want to be famous, Lord. He said, no, you ain't ready. It took a couple of years. This knucklehead ain't ready. Boy, this ain't about you. He said, but you do my will, your name gonna be on there.
Right.
So I said, I will give you the glory.
Right. Wow.
You know, every book gonna have the opening scripture and everything.
Amen.
You know, in the prologue, in the where you give the dedication. Right. So the second book, I'm republishing the first book, revamped the plot a little bit. I got a different publisher.
Okay.
And they're gonna help work with me. I've already done mostly 80-something, almost 90% done with the republishing. They're gonna get back to me. The ball's in their court. They're gonna get back to me. A couple of months, that one's gonna come out again. But I said I want both of them to kind of come out like a package if possible.
Gotcha.
And while we're in what we're going through culturally, God gave me a book about that. And children can read. It's a mini novel. It's gonna cover 7 continents of the problems in this world, what we're all going through.
Okay.
And
Listen, the best.
you know, based on empathy, we need empathy in the world. So God gave me a story for that, and that's gonna come out. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm hoping before winter get too deep.
Right.
Maybe we'll be done and it could be released. You know.
The best thing about your book, I remember, when we got it and the kids was reading it, they was like, "Oh look, they're in it," because all the pictures.
I try to do a caricature. That's why I told them.
Right. Listen,
I
that was
pictures
the best
of me
part.
and Lisa, so they could actually cartoon caricature up.
Right. Yeah.
That was the best part.
And the baby pictures on the wall.
You
see Tiana's picture on the wall in the book.
Yeah.
A real baby picture,
Wow.
So that's how, and they know what your kids know us, so they were like, "Hey, wait a minute, that's them," But instead of Jackson and Jay, So it's going to be about, mostly social, emotional learning.
Okay.
From a biblical perspective, though, because everybody's into this mindfulness thing,
Right.
and it's rooted in Buddhism, all that. Zen Buddhists and all of the ringing the bell and controlling your breathing and everything.
Right.
But Jesus is the air I breathe.
Right.
He breathes on me a fresh breath of life.
Yes.
If anything, breathing is him breathing on me.
Right.
And I'm not waiting for no bell. The trumpet gonna blow in a minute. So
so we appreciate you guys rocking with us and doing this interview with us. I know it's a new space for you guys.
Yeah.
So we
but
definitely
thank y'all for making us feel like we in the living room and talking and chilling. Talking about something that's endearing to us. So you made it easy. Thank you. And God's blessing your ministry. You guys are like that anyway. You're cordial, loving people. So you made it easy.
So don't hang up.
Don't hang up. Don't go
anywhere.
anywhere.
We're gonna come back. So don't go anywhere.
All right. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us. Thank you for watching and participating. You still have time to share. Make sure you share this broadcast. It was a great conversation, a lot of nuggets. So as always, love intentionally,
love unconditionally,
and love on purpose. See you guys next week. I think I lost my daggone outro. Hold on. Is that it's official.
Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing